Hey everyone, how are you? Welcome back to Johnson Branch Farm. My name is Rachel and I decided to turn the camera back on again. I literally sometimes struggle with turning on the camera. Don't think I'm one to typically want the spotlight. I'm okay with giving that place to somebody else, but I really feel this push and this pull to turn the camera on. So I start by saying a little prayer. I turn the camera on, and now I'm gonna do the thing. And the thing today happens to be starting seeds. So we're gonna talk a little bit about starting seeds, but first I gotta get this bread in the oven. So this is just a normal yeast recipe. I do have a sourdough starter going, but it's still in its infancy stages. A friend of mine actually messaged me quite a few months ago and asked, how do you make your sourdough? Because she saw probably the one loaf that I've ever been really good at making. And I tried to tell her what I knew, which wasn't a lot, and I directed her some more experienced people out there, and she has taken it and ran with it. So she sent me some of her sourdough starter because we had just determined that mine just probably wasn't a strong starter. It was just one I kind of mixed up and made on my own. And then I had put it in the refrigerator and it sat in there for like 6 months probably, and then we pulled it out and it just didn't have any get up and go. Like it was done. So she sent me hers. It's doing awesome. I'm determined to keep it alive, and I'm determined to do it. I've been on the fence with sourdough. I've made bread, gosh, I mean, it's got to be at least 10 years I've made bread. I grew up in a home where we had fresh bread. I'm planning to do sourdough because I know that fermented foods work. I know they're good for our bodies. I know our bodies love it. And I just want to feed my family the best. But they're not going to eat it if it doesn't taste good. And my sourdough has been on the sour and doughy side. It's been sourdough for sure. So I'm going to give it another shot. She's going to walk me through it. That's what friends are for. So thank you. If you're watching this, you know who you are. But, so I'm going to get this bread. It's already risen. And I'm going to get it just rolled out and in the oven. Aaron's been out there plucking some laurels behind the house, so that's pretty neat. Clearing just some more property and some more land. We are about done with this phase of the project, and we'll be moving on to the next, but it's been pretty neat to see how it's kind of all coming together. About those seeds. It is too early, really, to start a lot of our seeds here in North Georgia. We are we're like zone 6 to 7. We're kind of right on the border. When we look at our city and the map, we're near the highest elevation. Sometimes I think that throws us off because it will snow here when it doesn't in any part of the county. It'll snow here when it's not snowing anywhere else. It will freeze here when it's not freezing anywhere else. And so that can kind of throw our temperatures off. I don't want to, you know, get too far ahead of myself, but I can't wait. So what I'm gonna start are onions. I'm gonna start some lettuce, some brassicas, things that are kind of a little more cold weather tolerant. So that's what I'm gonna get going. Last year, I was so close with timing out my broccoli and cauliflower. No, I didn't do cauliflower. Broccoli and cabbage was the word I was looking for. I was so close to timing those out right, and I think if I go ahead and start them now, I'll be okay. I think I can get away with starting them in the greenhouse. I hope I can. We're gonna see how it goes. I'm not really in the position right now to think about pulling out the lights. Yeah, I just don't know. So we're gonna give it a shot. If I gotta pull the lights out, I will. It's not the end of the world. We've done it before. Everyone kind of seems to expect it. I don't want to get too far ahead of the game because then that can have challenges in and of itself. You've put all this time into it. You have spent the money, and then you can't undo what's been done. And then you've got all these overgrown or root-bound plants, or you have to pot them up and you don't have room for all of that. So it can get to be a little tricky if you do it too early. But onions are good to start right now. Like, I'm definitely gonna start my onions. I'm gonna go ahead and start lettuce because I can plant that in the greenhouse, or I can get some covers and cover it. Same with kale. I'm also going to start some carrots and beets. Those grow really well with the cooler temperatures. I think I'll time those out pretty well. Yeah, super excited. I just can't wait to get my hands in the dirt. Dough and flour just doesn't do it the same way. All right, before we get ahead of ourselves, I tend to do that. I've got to figure out which varieties I'm going to plant. I have a pretty good idea. This will be my 3rd garden here. Isn't that crazy? Is it really 3? I have to think about that. It might be 4th. You guys, this is gonna be my 4th garden here. That's pretty awesome. So I have a pretty good idea of what grows well and what doesn't. I mean, kale's gonna grow no matter what. Lettuce grows wonderful here. We can go, we could plant lettuce most of the year. Even in the middle of summer, we can plant lettuce because there's heat tolerant varieties and those do really well here. Beans are always good. Peppers and tomatoes I'm still dialing in, and it's not so much of what will grow here, it's so much of what preserves well and what do we like to eat. So still working on honing in a good variety for canning, and I tend to do like half canning and half like slicer or cherries, and then slicers and cherries don't can very well, so then I've kind of got an excess of ones that we can't eat enough to keep up with it. So I need to this year kind of look at my numbers and figure out how I should cut back on slicers and cherries and increase paste. So that's the only thing. But I'm going to start onions for sure. If you're gonna garden, you're gonna become a seed collector. I don't want to use the term hoarder because that can have a negative, a negative tone to it, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. But I've got seeds stuffed everywhere. I need carrots. Let's see. Onions. That's what I was talking about. And you'll get sidetracked really easily because you want to talk about all the things. So, and my gardener had a seed sale month or so ago. Everything was like, I don't even know how they can do it. It was half off, and already seed packets are only like $2. So I stocked up on some stuff. I got a lot of shallots, never really grown shallots. That's one thing I'm gonna try this year. Every year I'll like introduce 1 or 2 things. Try not to get overrun with new. So I have a bunch of those because our thought was curing and maybe selling onions, and then curing and selling some garlic. Some people on our channel had reached out and said they would like some garlic braids, so I'm doing my best. Along with Amanda, we're gonna try to bring you some garlic braids this year. And maybe even some onion braids, because you can do the same thing as well. And I thought, well, we thought, we're in this together, Amanda and I, that onions cure well. They could be shipped if we wanted to. It's not something we see a lot of in our market, but they grow well really here. They grow really well here, as well as garlic. We do have a garlic farmer here in town, so I don't want to like overstep you know, step on their toes or do anything that they're doing. But I thought I could sell it online to y'all. So if you're interested in buying garlic, maybe some onions, if all that works out, let me know in the comments. So I know if this is a good idea or not. I mean, we're already invested. We've already bought the seeds, but it's not like we can't still use it. So let's see. I'm still going through this order I got the other day. Some of it was just like zucchini. I really liked this Italian striped zucchini, and I decided to go ahead and just pick up another batch because I had just a few. All right, so Walla Walla onions are the onions I'm gonna be growing this year. They do really good in our zone. I've grown them before. The reason I know that is because one of the organic farms down the street, that's what they grew, and I bought a couple trays of starts from them, and they were it was my best onion year ever. Last year I bought the little like tiny bulbs. I can't remember what they're called. Not the set where it has the greens on it, but it was just like the little tiny bulb. They did not do good at all. It was terrible. It was not a very good onion for me. Onions are a staple, so I've got a stack of onions. I'm also gonna try growing some peanuts. Like, how cool would that be, right? To like grow and roast your own peanut butter? I don't know. That was another one that I was gonna try. So I've got that and shallots, which in my mind, shallots don't seem to be super complicated. I feel like it's like an onion. And then I've got some ground cherries. I hope that's the right thing. Everyone says they're so good and so sweet. And I'm trying to come up with stuff that is kind of a fruit or something that is sweet like fruit, that the kids can munch on and eat, or that I can turn into a jam or a jelly. We planted 20 more blueberry plants this year, but it's going to take a couple years before they're fully established and they're very, you know, mature and ready to go. We have apple trees, we have peach trees, but just kind of wanted to add some more variety, some more berry variety. And then new to me, paste tomato. This is one that a couple people on the Instagram they said that they grow, and I really love their whole garden style. One is Quillhaven Farm and the other one is it's Heritage Maple Farm. I'll put her on the screen, but I think they both use these varieties, if I'm not mistaken, and so I'm going to try them this year. And then I have lots of carrots because I figured out the secret to growing carrots up here, and that is start them ahead of time in trays. Yes, it's very intensive. It's a lot of trays for just, you know, one little cell is one carrot. But I have found that that works amazing. If I try to direct sow them, I don't have a very good carrot harvest at all. And I was going to have fantastic carrot season until the polar vortex came through. I'm not bitter about it or anything. Kind of squashed my carrot dreams. But they did really good. We were pulling them out when they were smaller, and it was really awesome. I'm kicking myself. Everyone on the internet, because you can believe everything you read there, said that, oh yeah, carrots will do fine in -degree temperatures, but they did not do okay. It was kind of weird. It was like the ground froze and then pushed them out. Because a lot of them were like sticking halfway up out of the ground, and maybe that's what did it. I don't know. My bad. Pigs will enjoy it, so it's not a total waste. And then I'm gonna plant beets because I really love fresh beets out of the garden. I really love pickled beets. I'm gonna plant radishes. That was the other thing. I'm like, I know there's one other root vegetable that I really enjoy. I really like radishes. I like them in a salad. I like them dipped in ranch. People say you can roast them, but I've not tried that, so I might try that this year, but I do really like having radishes. The kids really enjoy growing them. They will eat them here and there. It's hit or miss, but they really have a lot of fun out there planting them and harvesting them. Those I will direct sow, probably in March. They do just fine direct sow. They don't need any special tender loving care. They grow amazingly well. I have a lot of lettuce. I'm just gonna go ahead and plant it out. I'm gonna use up some of the stuff I've got. I've got all of these free seeds. How I ended up with so many of these, but I'm just gonna go ahead and plant them and eat them because lettuce is lettuce. Things that are mixed, like this is a mixed green bag that I was using as microgreens, but I planted out in the garden and I just wait till it's baby greens. I'll plant in the springtime when I can just sprinkle it out and then you get a nice little salad mix, spring mix. So for head lettuce, which is what I'm gonna do right now, I'm just gonna stick to like a romaine, and I really like this, no, that's Bib. Where's that black? There it is. Bib is good, but this Henderson's Black Seeded Simpson, I really like this one a lot. So I'm gonna go ahead and plant that. I'm running low, so I'll have to try to hold back and not place another seed order. I've done really good. The only seed order I placed was this M.I. Gardner one because they were having that big sale and I wanted to grab a bunch of onions. And then the peanuts caught my eye, and then I needed one, and then Amanda needed a couple, so you know how that goes. Anyway, and then I've just got a blue curled kale. That one does so well, and it's so good in the winter. And then this Tuscan or Dino kale, it can be called. That's another really good one. I'm also going to do some spinach, and I want to do some arugula. So I've got that here too. That was given to me. I'm not going to do my radishes yet, so I'm going to put them aside and do those another time. So I think that's, oh no, I'm not going to do spinach and arugula because those are direct seeded and it's too early to direct seed those. So forgot, I'm only starting seeds in trays right now. It's crazy because the sun is shining. I'm wearing a light jacket and it's January. I think it's in the 50s right now, and that's not normal. So in my mind, I'm getting ready to go direct sow, but I cannot do that. At least if they're in trays, I can bring them inside. I can control their environment a little bit more, but once I direct seed them, you just gotta wish them luck because that's it. So we're not gonna do that. I'm not gonna get that far ahead of myself. So let's get these put away and we can start planting. Just kidding, I'm probably gonna have to make another seed order. I really want to grow strawberries. So going back to that whole fruit thing, if I could grow strawberries, I think I'd be like the best mom in the world. My kids eat a lot of strawberries. So that was the other thing, and I don't have any more strawberry seeds. I had tried a few years ago. I did it too late and it was not good. It just they never really took off. So that was another thing I was going to try to do early this year was some strawberries. So I'm going to do a little research on varieties and try starting them from seed for a couple of reasons. Number one, it's cheaper. Really, it's just cheaper. I can get more for my money. It's probably $5 a strawberry plant if I'm lucky. I've gone that route. Didn't really do well. I've tried the bare roots. Those were a bust. So I'm gonna go with seed and just see how it goes from there. So I went to open one of my containers and seeds spilled out everywhere, little mustard seeds. And makes me think of that scripture, faith the size of a mustard seed. And if you're wondering, they're very tiny and they like to bounce and they get everywhere. So let your faith overflow like a mustard seed. But I got me like, one thing I want to suggest maybe, kind of something I've figured out along the way, like it's easy to get caught up in seed varieties and making sure you have every little thing. Like for greens, I gotta have spinach, I gotta have arugula, lettuce, kale, mustard. And that can get a little overwhelming, and then you've got to buy individual packs and you've got to store it. Maybe look for green mixes because they come all together A lot of them will come with kale and mustard and chard, and I just find that it's just enough. Unless you're gonna can kale or freeze kale or eat, you know, juice it where you need a lot. If you're just wanting to throw it in salads or just saute with it and just enjoy it fresh, those mixed variety seed packs are a really good option, especially when it comes to greens. I don't know, I never really had good luck with carrots, but I didn't really have good luck with carrots until recently. And the same with radishes. I've noticed the mixed radish packs don't necessarily do as well for me. For you they might. But I just find with greens, because that's something that you're eating fresh, it's not something that you can preserve like you would a tomato or a pepper. You don't preserve lettuce, and like I said, kale's probably really, maybe chard, maybe mustard, I don't know, you might. But for me, just wanting to eat those fresh and when they're coming out of the garden, I don't want to fill my freezer with that. I don't want to can it and put it on my pantry shelf. It's just a really good option just to save space and to save money and to save time. So, because you know, the more you plant, the more you've got to manage, and the more you buy seed-wise, you've got to manage that too. So just, it's just a way I figured out to try to manage my time wisely, my garden space and my seed space. Really, if this mustard pack was not free with my order, I probably wouldn't have bought it. I probably would have just stuck with what was ever in the lettuce mix. So there's a little tip for you. Hopefully that helps you. Last but certainly not least, I'm gonna do broccoli and cauliflower. I've not had much luck with cauliflower, but I'm just gonna go ahead and give it another try. I'm gonna do cabbage, a Savoy, and this Italian one. We're gonna try to pronounce it. This one. I'm gonna go ahead and do this early Jersey Wakefield cabbage. It's small, but it grew so well and so fast that we had a good harvest. And then this Copenhagen one, it's similar to that. And then I'm gonna try some Napa cabbage for some kimchi. I don't know, we'll see. I've never had really good luck with that one. So that's my thought here. That's what I am putting together. We'll see how far I get with this whole seed starting journey. I'm gonna do these last because they're still a little bit early. Anyway, I hope you found this helpful. I hope you enjoyed going through all these seeds with me, and I'm excited to see what we grow this year. May the Lord bless and keep you. Until next time.